share with you all. I have some presentation that I'm going to be sharing with you. So I'm quickly turning on the screen so that
Okay.
I'll be able to share it.
All right.
I believe you can see my screen.
We can see from here.
All right. So I was very, very honored to be called upon to share with you some of the career prospects in the computer science field. I've been working in this field for the past decade now. And the field has been one of the most interesting field you ever have to work in. Without wasting much time, we'll go straight to our presentation and dive into some of the skills, careers, and the future for computer scientists. So I entitled my presentation, The Computer Scientist, Skills, Careers, and the Future. The reason why I picked this title is because this particular field is a constant changing field. It's going through a series of evolution, and we'll get to find out some of these things I'm talking about. My name is Joshua Opoku Agyeman, as Mr. Oyomi had already introduced me. I happen to be the president for IoT Network Hub. I'll talk a little bit about IoT when we get to that session. And I also have a startup called Personet. It's a tech company that I started at the age of 19. I can be reached out on the following contact information and on social media too as well. According to Steve Ballmer happens to be one of the former CEO for Microsoft. He said that computer science is the operating system for all innovations. So if you cast your eyes across the world, all the innovations we are seeing or we've seen for the past years and the ones coming in our world today and those to come in the future, the system that runs all these innovations are computer science. So that's how blessed it feels or it is to be a computer scientist. And according to Eric Schmidt, he also happens to be a former executive for Google. He said the rise of Google, the rise of Facebook, the rise of Apple, he thinks are proof that there's a place for computer science as something that solves problems that people face every day. So if you look at all these companies, the giants of companies in our world today, and the ones that are yet to come, you could say they are all being powered by computer science. Then when we say computer science, what at all is computer science? We'll dive into what computer science means. So computer science is the study of computers and computing. What it means is that this field was, I don't want to use the word invented, but it has been in existence as a result of an evolution that happened. We'll go through all the series of revolution that we have ever faced. Currently, we are in the fourth industrial revolution, and we'll get to know the revolution that gave birth to computer science and why it gave birth to computer science and what computer science is going to do in the revolution we are in, which is the fourth industrial revolution and the one to come. So computer science happens to be the study of computers and computing, including their theoretical and algorithmic foundations, hardware and software, and they are used for processing information. We are in the information age today where everything revolves around an algorithm. There's always a piece of code somewhere processing all the information for us. There's always a piece of software somewhere doing most of the work for us. There's a piece of hardware in our hands or with us or we work with that are processing all this information. And this came out of computer science. Computer science also draws some of its foundations from mathematics, engineering, and incorporate techniques from areas such as queuing theory, probability, statistics, and electronic circuit design. These are the top 15 disciplines of computer science we have today. They have been evolved over the past years. So currently we have 15 disciplines now. We're looking at algorithms and complexity, architecture and organization, computational science, graphics and visual computing, human-computer interaction, information management, intelligence systems, networking and communication, operating systems, power and distributed computing, platform-based development, programming languages, security and information assurance, software engineering, social and professional issues. So I'm going to throw some light into some of the discipline and some of the fields or the industries they are creating. If you look at algorithm and complexity, out of algorithm and complexity, we had solutions such as Google, because Google is a whole algorithm for indexing. Out of architecture and organization, we have organizations such as IBM, also building architectural systems and solutions for businesses. When it comes to computational science, that's where we have the computation, so mathematics in technology, where we have supercomputers, mainframe computers, or these high-level computers being used for computational purposes. When you look at the graphics and visual computing, it gave us to the graphic designing, the animation. Now we have the VR coming, all coming from the graphics and visual computing. We have the human-computer interaction. It also gave birth to the chatbots and then the rest coming. Information management, intelligence system gave birth to the AI, machine learning, the neural network. So all these new developments that are happening are all coming from all the disciplines of computer science. But in this era or our generation, we are taking them to the next level, of which we will look at some of them. We have the operating systems, which is now powering all our devices from our computers to our TV. Most of the TVs now are smart TV. That means they are all running operating system. The smartwatches are all running operating system. All our mobile devices, from the iPhone to the Androids, are all powered by operating systems. Power and distributed computing also plays one significant role in the industry we live today. The platform-based development happens to be the web platforms such as the Amazons, the Facebook, and all the other platforms that we use. They are also coming from the discipline of platform-based development. Then we talk about programming languages. Now we have a lot of these languages out there, and day in and out, there are new ones coming. And these are also one disciplines of computer science that is also generating more careers or more opportunities in the career space. When you look at security, information and assurance, out of it we have the cyber security, the cyber, IoT cyber, AI cyber, intelligence cyber, a lot really happening in that space. Then we look at software engineering, also give birth to application development from the mobile apps to the web application to the desktop application to the AI applications and the rest. Social professional issues also give birth to the social evolution, which also gave birth to the social media, social platform, social content, and then the rest. So out of these 15 disciplines we have under computer science, there are so many opportunities in each of the disciplines if you're supposed to pick it and dive deeper into it. When we look at the careers also in computer science, these are a handful of them. There are a lot of them. Some are becoming irrelevant. Some are becoming highly demanded. New ones are always coming up every day. But this is an overview of some of the careers in the computer science. We have the application analyst, the application developer, the cybersecurity analyst, data analyst, database administrator, forensic computer science, computer analyst, game designer, games developer, information system manager, IT consultant, software engineer, system analyst, UX design or designer, the web designer, and web developer. There are a lot, as I said, but these are a handful of some that are directly related to computer science. According to the policy advisor for Microsoft, he said in the US, the country is producing only 40,000 computer science graduates each year, but the industry needs 120,000 and more. So that means there's also a high demand for computer scientists in the tech industry. We'll go deeper into the tech industry today and why this demand is rising and also keep rising. That brings us to the fourth industrial revolution. So we've gone through a series of revolution, and the revolution that we are in today is called the fourth industrial revolution. We have the first industrial revolution where we have the mechanization, the second one where we have the mass production, the third one gave birth to computers. And when computers were born, the internet also was born. And when all these technologies started get invented, computer science also started from that revolution, and it became very, very relevant to now. Now today, we are looking at the fourth industrial revolution, where we're looking at emerging technologies such as the artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, the robotics, big data, cloud computing, cyber security, blockchain, VR, AR, and the rest. We'll go a bit deeper into the fourth industrial revolution for you to see the relevance of computer science in this new revolution and some of the numerous opportunities or careers that are available for computer scientists today. When we talk about the fourth industrial revolution, it describes the blurring of boundaries between the physical, digital, and biological world. So we're looking at a world where the biological world will be connected to the digital world and to the physical world. So out of this, we have terms such as biotech, agri-tech, health tech, fintech, all this tech are some of the applications or some of the illustrations of the fourth industrial revolution. It is also the fusion of advances in AI, robotics, IoT, 3D printing, genetic engineering, quantum computing, and others. So with this revolution, which we are in today, we are going to advance and go deeper into the computer science in some disciplines such as the AI, the robotics, the Internet of Things, 3D printing, and the rest. When we look at this visual on the screen, we could see the rise of the industrial revolution to the fourth industrial revolution. So in the fourth industrial revolution, we are looking at digitization. Everything is now being digitized, from shopping to church to school, e-learning, and the rest. That is the sign of the fourth industrial revolution. We're also looking at having digitization of product and services offering, where everything is going to be digitized. Then we have digitization of business models and customer access. So all this coming together forms the fourth industrial revolution. Some of the technologies in the fourth industrial revolutions include robotics, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, Internet of Things, 5G, and many more. On the left-hand side, it also breaks down into how they are all interconnected. And that's the beauty of the fourth industrial revolution. Every piece of the technologies are going to be blurred together, both the physical, the biological, and the digital. In order to be able to understand and take advantages of this fourth industrial revolution, the revolution also brought a revolution in education. So what it means is that anytime there's a change in revolution, the kind of education needed or expected to be able to be relevant and stay on top of the competition also changes. So in our generation, we have the 21st century education, and this education, we're going to go deep into them to understand what is required as a computer scientist to be well informed, or what kind of skills you need to acquire aside your discipline. You need a 21st century skill in addition to be able to survive in the fourth industrial revolution. So this is linked to your career. We are looking at a future where whatever job or career you pursue, you don't have to lose your job in the next 5, 10 years to come. And for you to be able to keep up with your job in the next 5, 10, 20 years to come, you need to have the 21st century education, which might not be what we already know. What we're already receiving might have some embodiment of the 21st century education, but then we're going to go into it for you to understand what exactly it means and what is expected. According to Alvin Toffler, he said, the illiterate of the 21st century, if you say somebody is illiterate, basically, we usually say the person cannot read and write. But in this era, or the 21st century, if we say somebody is illiterate, what it means is that the person cannot learn, cannot unlearn what has been learned, and cannot relearn. So if anyone in the 21st century is not able to do this three, it means the person is 21st century illiterate. Now, when we talk about 21st century education, we're looking at the kind of education that responds to the economical, technological, and social shifts that are happening at a highly increasing pace. So we're living in a world where you sleep today, you wake up tomorrow, there's something new. Economy is changing, the technologies are changing, our society are changing. So for us to be able to stay relevant with our career and our professions, it means we need to acquire this 21st century education that would enable us to respond to all this change when it happens. There's a quote that says, change or perish, adapt or perish, or change or get left behind, or adapt or get left behind. And for us not to perish or be left behind, we need to have this 21st century education. It's also an education that sets students up to succeed in a world where more than half of the jobs they have over their careers don't even exist yet. You all bear with me that in the past 10, 15 years ago, a lot of jobs you see today weren't in existence. So we're looking at social media marketing, content creation, blogging, Uber, the Lyft and the rest, Instagram. They were all not in existence 5, 10 years ago. And when these technologies came, they came to change the social media industry, our lives, our businesses. It created a whole new businesses and jobs and careers. So the 21st century education is also an education that sets students to succeed in a world where half of the jobs that we're going to have over the range of our career will not be in existence. According to this report from the World Economic Forum, they said 65% of students entering primary school today will end up working in a complete new jobs that do not exist yet. That means if we look at the students in the primary school and the junior secondary, in the next 10 years to come, the kind of jobs they're going to be doing have not yet been created yet. So they need to be trained, or we will have to be educated in order to adapt to the 21st century revolution. Now, when we look at the skills for the 21st century, they are being categorized into three. And 21st century skills are being referred to as a broader set of knowledge, skills, work habits, and character traits that are believed by educators, school reformers, college professors, employers, and others to be critically important to succeed in today's world. So what it's basically saying is that there are some set of skills that if you want to be successful in our world we live in today, especially in these new careers that are coming up and new workplaces, it means that you need to have this sort of skills. And these skills consist of knowledge, skills, your work habits, and character traits. We'll dive into all this and get to know what exactly they are. So the 21st century skill also can be applied in all academic subject areas, in all educational, career, civil settings throughout a student life. These skills have been categorized into three. We have the learning skills, the literacy skills, and the life skill. When we look at the learning skills, we're looking at critical thinking. One good thing of being a computer scientist or studying computer science is that the field provide a discipline in critical thinking. So for instance, if you learn programming or you learn problem solving, algorithm, computation, all these disciplines help you build the skills for critical thinking, which help you to solve problems. It also helps you to think outside the box, which also is referred to as creativity. There's also collaboration in project development, having group studies and team working on projects. in all this process, you build collaboration skill. Communication too is one of the skills and the learning skills, of which I believe all these four are part of the skills you acquired when you partake computer science. So computer scientists might not have issue with learning skill as far as the discipline and the field is concerned. Now the next category is literacy skill. With literacy skill, we're looking at information. Now we're living in the information age where there are so many information flowing around. But then our understanding of facts, figures, statistics, and data is key in the literacy skill. And in this era, media literacy is also one of the highly skilled required under literacy skill. The ability to understand the methods and outlets in which information is published. So now we have the bloggings now for publication such as Medium, LinkedIn. We have social media for digital marketing. So we also need to acquire the media skill in order to stay relevant in the 21st century. And then the last is the technology literacy, understanding the machines that make the information age possible. So, so far so good. When it comes to these two categories so far, I believe every computer scientist or every computer science student would either have it or already having these skills because of the discipline that you have to go through to finish with the course. The last one is the life skills. So with the life skills, we're looking at flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity, and social skills. Flexibility is the ability to adapt to changing circumstances. About 12 months ago, our world and life was normal till COVID came. So our ability to adapt when COVID came to still have our life going on, still keep learning or going to school is one of the most important life skills needed in the world we live in today. Flexibility. Leadership also has to do with the ability to motivate a team to accomplish a goal. It's also very, very relevant in the 21st century now. Initiative, our ability to start projects, strategies, and plan on one's. Plan on one own, your ability to plan on your own is also key under the life skill. Then we have productivity. In the age of distraction, it's really hard to focus and get things done. So productivity has become one of the most needed skill under life skill as far as the 21st century is concerned. Then social skills, meeting and networking. With the high rise of the internet, most of our social skills will be dying off. And it's very, very important if you want to succeed in the world today, that you need to have your social skills. So these are the three categories of the 21st century skills required to succeed in the world we live in today. According to the World Economic Forum, they released their top 10 skills for 2025. So from now to 2025, these are the highly demanded skills in every discipline or every sector of our profession. So those in blues, analytical thinking and innovation, complex problem solving, critical thinking and analysis, creativity, originality and initiative, reasoning, problem solving and ideation, all falls under problem solving. And I still believe all computer science students, due to the field you work in or you are studying, you automatically have this skill if you really learn hard and be good at your field. Some discipline or some courses might not necessarily have this 6 out of 10 or 5 out of 10 by default. But as a computer scientist, you have all the blues by default because of your field. So it puts you at an advantage among all your colleagues or other students that are not doing computer science or computer science related courses. Now we look at the light gray, the active learning and learning strategies, resilience, stress tolerance, and flexibility. This is also needed, but it's just 2 out of the 10. The orange happens to be leadership and social influence. Then the last two happens to be technology use and development. So if you look at the top 10 skills for according to the World Economic Forum, if you're a computer scientist, possibility that you have the top 9 skills because of the discipline or the program you're studying is very, very high, because that's what your field or your course or your program entails, or that's what it teaches you if you take it very serious. So you already have an advantage in this world we're living in and the one to come over all other careers and professions. Now, when we look at the job landscape too, according to the same report, they said in the next 5 years, we're going to have a job loss of 85 million globally. And this 85 million job loss, we're looking at what jobs or careers such as data entry, clerks, administrative and executive secretarial, accounting, bookkeeping and payroll checks, accountants and auditors, assembly and factory workers, business service and administrative managers, client information and customer service, and then the rest. So all the top 10 skills or jobs or careers at the bottom are going to be displaced. And there's going to be a high demand with the top 10 at the top, the growing job demand, where we have the data analysts and scientists, AI machine learning specialists, big data specialists, digital marketing and strategy specialists, process automation specialists, business development professionals, digital transformation specialists, information security analysts, software application developers, Internet of Things specialists. So if you compare the World Economic Report to the I think 10 or 15 careers that I shared earlier, you will see you could find most of them here from the World Economic Report. So again, it also means that this report wasn't meant for only computer science. It's meant for the whole world. What industries are expecting? What kind of opportunities are highly demanded? So if you happen to be in the computer science field, your possibility of surviving for the next 50 years is always very high. But that means you need to also have the 21st century skill or education so that you'll be able to always stay competitive. Because the moment you stop learning, stop improving, you start dropping. Because the world is always changing. That field is always changing. All right. And according to Alan Kane, he said the best way to predict the future is to invent it. So aside all the career, the opportunities, the beauty and everything, every computer scientist has the power to invent their own world. So if you look at Microsoft, Google, Facebook, Apple, they were all started by computer scientists. So if you have what it takes, or you have the power, of which you already have, you can also invent your own world. The rest of my session is going to be brief on the IT Network Hub community. So the community is having over 7,000 membership, and our community consists of inventors, innovators, developers, makers, and yes, our community is full of computer scientists from what we've gone through, and we believe that that's the next frontier. And our purpose as a community is to explore emerging technologies to solve an African's problem. I believe you saw IoT in most of my slides, or a couple of my slides. So IoT stands for the Internet of Things, and the Internet of Things happens to be the next revolution that have been built on top of the internet. So with IoT, we are looking at combining hardware and software technologies to produce trillions of data through connecting multiple devices and sensors. We are looking at connecting everything, living and non-living, to the internet. So today we might have the smartphone, the laptops, some couple of TVs and computers. But in the next years to come, we're looking at connecting our vehicles, our doors, our house, our offices, everything, our addresses, our shoes, everything you can imagine, connected to the internet. And that's the Internet of Things. As a community, our purpose is to explore these technologies in Africa to solve our problem. And our vision is to become a hub of emerging technologies in Africa. Our mission is to build communities empowered with emerging technologies to solve an African's problem. And our core goals are to build vibrant tech ecosystem, of which we have been doing for the past 5 years. We want to also democratize digital skills of the 21st century. So some of the skills that we mentioned and technologies, it's kind of hard to get them from the classroom. So we bring these skills to our members or to everyone free of charge, and also foster creative thinking, problem solving, and innovation. We have a monthly meetup training, which is free, of which we're having this month training on 27th March on Zoom. You are also invited to join. We also do awareness and capacity building. We have community outreach. We organize events and conferences on all these technologies. We host workshops, hackathons, and boot camps. We also undertake project development, of which I'll talk about some of the projects we've been working on. We undergo research and development, and we are hoping to start building startups from the community. So some of our vision for the next 5 years. Currently, we are in 10 African countries. We want to cover all the African countries by 2025. We also have original chapters across all the 16 regions in Ghana. We've started campus chapters. We have over 20 of them, and we'll be glad to have one at your campus so that we can engage with you and we can all explore these technologies and use them to solve our problems. We're also hoping to grow our membership to 1 million. We can skip the rest. So a dive into our community. According to Helen Keller, he said, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. These are some of the pictures from our community meetup. So every month we'll be meeting for the past 4 years. But when COVID came, we suspended it. Starting from this month, we are going virtual. So wherever you are, anytime you'll be able to join our meetup. We've undertaken a series of projects when it comes to training. These are all free training at our meetups, where we train them in robotics, electronics, programming, and everything. We've done that for tertiary institution. We've been doing same too for senior high schools. We do same for junior high school, robotics, 3D printing, VR, programming, and we also do same for kids. So these are things kids were able to build using Scratch and basic electronic components and basic programming. As a community, we've undertaken a series of projects, and these are some of the projects we've worked on over the past years. Everything were built locally here in Ghana by the team. And these are all IoT devices that are able to connect to the internet to send data over the internet. So when COVID came to, we use the same solutions and ideas we have to build solutions for COVID. So this is a 3D printed face mask, not reusable, recyclable, and very, very affordable. We came out with a face shield. We're the first in the country to come out with a face shield last year, March. And we also came out with face mask strap. This helps you to hang the mask at your back so that you don't have to hedge your ear. It was 3D printed. And we came out with this touchless washing buckets, which you basically wash your hands without touching anything. We use sensors and a couple of coding to automate the bucket. According to Albert Einstein, he said, we cannot solve a problem using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them. And according to Kofi Annan, he also said, any society that does not succeed in tapping into the energy and creativity of its youth will be left behind. Due to time, I'll bring my presentation to an end and I will take questions, please.
Okay, thank you very much.
I hope I didn't take all the time.
No, we are still within time. It's almost 6 minutes to 4 p.m. We started almost 20 minutes after 4 p.m. or almost 18 minutes. So we still have some few minutes to take some few questions. And so you can activate your microphone and ask a question, or you can type in the chat room and I will read it out to the hearing of everybody before it is answered. We are also honored, whilst waiting for your question, we are honored to have the head of department for the computer science department amongst us, Dr. Govinda. Before we close the session, we will give him the platform to share a word with us. But questions are welcome now. You can ask using the microphone or you type in the chat room.
Hello, Emmanuel.
Hello, Dr. Govinda.
Hello, Joshua Opoku. Thank you very much. So it's really a very nice talk. So I feel it's enlightening, definitely. So our students might have got some ideas, much more motivation than they usually have. I see most of my good students are present here. So definitely they take advantage of that. So there are many crucial points in your presentation that I can see. So there are statistics of the future perspectives, employment opportunities, at the same time, how important the technology is going to be much more in future. So everything is well organized. So all that I can say is you did a very great job. So always my students hear from me. So it's not exactly the time again to speak something from my side. So I must congratulate you. So on this good talk.
Okay.
So probably it's time for students to come up any doubts and questions or anything that they have. So thank you very much. So I have a meeting now at 4, so I'm leaving. Once again, Joshua, that's a wonderful talk. So looking forward to work with you or to have some interaction with you in future. Okay.
All right, Doctor. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your time. Okay. See you again. Right.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Govinda.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so the questions are welcome. Feel free to activate your...
I'm leaving it to the students now.
Yes, questions from the students, you can type in the chat room or you can activate your microphone and speak out. Question time, please. I hope you could hear me. So feel free, you can type in the chat room or you can activate your microphone and ask your question. We'll be doing that in the next 5 minutes or about 5 minutes, and then we can wrap up for today. Questions from the floor or from the 14, 15 of us present here? Anyone to ask a question? Joshua is still around to respond to you. And for those of you who might be fortunate to get internship with some of the IT companies at the Accra Digital Center, you will be fortunate to be meeting him regularly. All right, so I have a post here in the chat room. Do they give lectures on embedded programming and which languages is more fit for this, C or C++? Okay, so I think Joshua, that is to you. One student wants to know, do you offer lectures on embedded programming? And if yes, which language is more fit for that purpose, either C or C++?
Okay, thank you so much for the question. So when it comes to embedded programming, C happens to be one of the mostly used languages. However, you can use C++, you can also use Java. And even now, they're making it easier. They're building frameworks that even allows you to even program in JavaScript or Python. So it depends on the microcontroller you're using or the board you're using or the frameworks you want to use. But mostly what we do, we use C. For all the projects that we worked on, all the hardwares were programmed, the firmwares were built with C. But then there are frameworks out there. If you're not a fan of C, and probably you are a Java developer or JavaScript, there are frameworks that allow you to use JavaScript to program the hardware too as well.
Okay. Joshua, I would suggest if you wouldn't mind, you can activate your video so that we can see you and know the real Joshua. If that's okay.
Okay, give me a sec.
Okay, I think there's one question here. I'm sure that question is more to me. Somebody wants to find out, due to the COVID situation or the COVID-19, how will we be doing the internship? Yeah, so it will be dependent on the arrangement from a particular entity. I already mentioned, maybe it wasn't on through the email, but I mentioned on one program earlier that some companies are opening up for what they call nesternship, where you work virtually or remotely as an intern. But there are equally others who would want you to be present in their premises. So we'll have diversities in the internship programs. So depending on which is available, we'll make it known to the student body. Since you've mentioned internship, let me just go ahead quickly to mention that for those of you who might have not received an email to that effect, the registration has started since December last year. This Friday will be the closing date for internship. So if you want to have your internship during the summer, during July, August, September this year, please register before Friday, close of work on Friday.
Please, Mr. Emmanuel.
Yes.
When you sent the email, I did not use my Lancaster email to apply for, like, to send. It was actually something like a form. I used my personal Gmail account to submit the form. So I don't know if you received it.
I should. If you fill the form, definitely I will have access to it here. Other than that, after the session, you can check on me, either a call or WhatsApp, and I can check for you if your name is in the registry.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Few more minutes and then we can wrap up. Any questions, any more questions, or some comments, you have something to share, please feel free to communicate to all of us, either through the chat room or through your microphone. So we've done almost 45 minutes. It's almost 2 minutes after 4 p.m. We should have been wrapping up at this time, but then we started a bit late into 3 p.m. And so we still can have some few minutes to.
Hello.
Hello, William.
Yes, please. I want to know how many countries, which countries is IoT in?
Okay, so I think that will be to Joshua. Which countries or how many countries do you have presence in terms of the IoT network?
Sure. So currently we have about 10 African countries now, including Nigeria. So we're in Nigeria, we're in Kenya, we're in Zambia, Zimbabwe, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Rwanda, and South Africa. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Right. Are you thinking of going to Togo, like of adding Togo to your list?
We'll be happy to go everywhere. So if you're from Togo and you want us to do this, kindly pick my number from the presentation.
Sure.
054 888 998. It's active on WhatsApp. And then let's chat. We'll take it to Togo. If you also want to join in Ghana or wherever you are, you can also pick the same contacts and then reach out.
Sure.
Okay, so I think that was the question earlier in the chat room. Someone was asking, are you in Nigeria? Can you join IoT Hub in Telegram? Or I think Joshua was giving a link.
I tried responding. So that's right.
There's a link in the chat room. You can join their Instagram platform and get access to some other information. Yes.
I believe you all enjoy it. I would like to hear from them. It was educative. It was good.
Yeah, okay. So if you don't have a question
boring.
and you want to comment, other than a question, you want to give some feedback, feel free. If you have some lessons you learned, you can feel free to share with Joshua. But there's one post here. I tried filling the form during the January, but it wasn't updated to that of computer science students. Really? Okay. You just feel there is a place where if your interest is in there, you can list. That's any other interest. So kindly feel free and fill the form and indicate your interest, which might not be among the options there. You can feel free to write what you are interested in. For tomorrow, I will give an update with regards to the internship. I will send a comprehensive email to that. So those of you who want to do your internship and you haven't registered yet, please do that before the close of work on Friday. Right. So if you have questions or you have some comments, yes. William again.
I have a small comment. Joshua, you showed the buckets, the automatic buckets to wash the hands with the sensor. I just remember that when I saw the picture, it was only the buckets with the water that was automated, but the soap wasn't with a sensor. So like, it's just an idea to you. If you can like just add it into the water pipe, then just make another sensor for the soap. So you can put it in the Ghana market and a lot of people will be buying it. And you make a lot of money in Ghana, I'm telling you.
William, the business consultant.
All right. Thank you so much for
hello,
that.
please. It's not William. It's Antoine.
Yeah, okay. Someone is online?
No, he says Antoine, it's not William.
Okay. Thank you, Antoine, for that information. Yes, few minutes and then we'll wrap up. Comments or some feedback. You can feel free to do that whilst we wrap up in few minutes and close for today. All right. If there's no, let me give the platform to Joshua again. I think, Joshua, there's no more comments or questions now. If you have something briefly to conclude with, you can share before I eventually bring the session to a close. Joshua, I think your microphone is off, so if you can activate and probably and share your last word.
All right, sure. So first of all, for the opportunity given to share with you all, and the time for the students also making them available so that they'll be able to join it. I believe we are in the fourth industrial revolution. It's a fact, beyond my belief. And the only way we can survive, especially in our part of the world, Africa, is to be able to understand how the world is changing. And as our role as computer scientists or techie, it's our responsibility to make sure we understand these technologies and then create more jobs locally for our people to be able to get something to do. Because the computers and the machines, the robots, they're taking away most of the jobs, of which if we don't do something about it, it's going to be very tough for our continent. So I encourage every computer scientist here to take the mantle upon themselves, to use the knowledge and then the wisdom they've acquired in this field to be able to solve problems. Even if you happen to be employed, wherever you find yourself, it's the same skills you've acquired that you're applying to solve problems within the company. So most of the innovation that happened in Microsoft, in Google, it wasn't built by the CEO, it was built by the engineers, the computer scientists working for Microsoft. Yeah, so I encourage everybody to take this field very, very serious because it's the future. Yeah,
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joshua Agyeman, the president of the Internet of Things Africa Hub, that's IoT Network Africa. We are so much grateful. And Dr. Govinda came in earlier, but has signed off to attend an interview. We also appreciate him for his presence. And to you, the students who were able to attend today's session, thank you for joining and hope to meet you on a different program. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Bye-bye.